Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Aryo Suseno, and in this video, I'm gonna talk and explain about my essay analysis on the novel entitled The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I will also explain some of the multicultural issues that are represented in the novel. And I choose this novel to analyze because I think anyone who reads the novel will agree that the issues in the story are being portrayed very clearly. So, yeah, let's get started. Yeah, and by the way, I would like to apologize if I don't look very presentable right now because it's actually currently 2 a.m. right now, almost 3 in the morning. And why am I doing it at this hour? Well, why not? So, yeah. Okay, so first of all, just for a little bit of background context, the novel The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison is set in the 1940s in a small town in Ohio. The story focuses on a young black girl named Piccola Breedlove. From the very beginning, Piccola is surrounded by messages that tell her she's not enough, not pretty enough, not valuable enough, and basically invisible. The society around her is built on racial inequality and what beauty standards are treated as the ideal. Because of this, Piccola slowly starts believing that she's ugly and unworthy. And what I think is really powerful about this novel is that Morrison doesn't show racism as something that always clearly visible or obvious. A lot of time it's subtle, it's quiet, it's in everyday things, and that's what makes it really dangerous. So, in my essay analysis, I focus on three main multicultural issues that appeared in the novel. Those are internalized racism, white beauty standards, and the intersectional marginalization of black girls. So first, let's talk about internalized racism, because this is honestly at the core of Piccola's story. Piccola doesn't just experience racism from other people, she starts believing it herself. She truly thinks that her life is painful because she's black, and that if she were different, everything would be better. There's a line in the novel that really shows this clearly. In the novel, Morrison writes, "It had occurred to Piccola some time ago that if her eyes, those eyes that held the pictures and knew the sights, if those eyes of hers were different, that is to say, beautiful, she herself would be different." So, what's really sad about this line is that Piccola doesn't question the society around her. She doesn't think like, maybe these standards are unfair. No. Instead, she thinks she is the problem. She believes beauty equals happiness, love, and safety. This connects to Franz Fanon's theory of internalized racism, which basically explains how oppressed people can absorb the beliefs of the dominant culture and turn that oppression inward. Instead of fighting the system, they blame themselves. And Morrison shows that internalized racism is especially dangerous because it's invisible. No one has to constantly insult Piccola. She already does it to herself. And the second issue is white beauty standards. And this is something that Morrison shows over and over again throughout the novel. Society keeps sending the message that white features are the ideal. One really clear example is when Claudia talks about dolls. In the novel, Morrison writes, all the world had agreed that a blue-eyed, yellow-haired, pink-skinned doll was what every girl child treasured. This line might sound simple, but it's actually really deep. It shows how early these beauty standards are taught. Even children are expected to admire whiteness without questioning it. This idea connects really well to Naomi Wolf's beauty myth theory, which argues that the beauty standards are socially constructed and used to maintain power and inequality. In The Bluest Eye, the beauty becomes more than just appearance. It becomes a way to decide who matters and who doesn't. Piccola doesn't just want to be pretty, she wants to be loved, protected, and seen as human. And because she can't meet these standards, she ends up rejecting her own body and identity. And then the third issue represented in the novel is intersectional marginalization, which basically means experiencing oppression in more than one way at the same time. Piccola is marginalized because she's black, but also because she's a girl and a child. And this becomes really clear after she's sexually abused by her father. After this trauma, instead of being protected, Piccola is mostly ignored. Morrison describes her withdrawal from the world in the novel by saying, she seemed to fold into herself like a pleated wing. I think this line is really powerful because it shows how Piccola slowly disappears, emotionally and socially. She becomes quiet, invisible, and isolated. This connects to Kimberly Crenshaw's theory of intersectionality, which explains how overlapping identities like race and gender can create deeper and more complex discrimination. Piccola isn't protected as a child, as a girl, or as a black person. Her pain is silenced, and she's left alone to deal with something that no one should ever have to deal with alone. And honestly, that silence is one of the most painful parts of the novel. When we put all these three issues together, internalized racism, white beauty standards, and intersectional marginalization, we can see how they slowly destroy Piccola. By the end of the novel, she retreats into a fantasy where she believes she finally has blue eyes. And what's really tragic is that this moment, which should feel like a happy ending, is actually a sign that she's completely broken psychologically. And so, overall, the novel The Bluest Eye shows us that racism isn't just about discrimination or violence, it's also about everyday ideas, beauty standards, and social silence that slowly shape how people see themselves. For me personally, this novel really emphasizes that racism is the most destructive when it becomes normal and internalized, because once that happens, people lose the ability to see their own worth. And so yeah, that's basically what my essay analysis is about. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.